Okay, I want you to take a look at this young man. His name is Joe. He's 26 years old, handsome, nicely dressed. Just by looking at him, you probably wouldn't have a problem with your daughter dating him, right? She could bring him home. I mean, what could possibly be wrong with him? Well, let me show you. That's right, Joe is homeless. He lives in New York City and sleeps on a cardboard box on the sidewalk. Now, Joe recently became an internet sensation after a video of him was shot by Elite Daily and was released. Now, in it, Joe brags that despite occasionally bedding down on the pavement, he does homelessness differently because he looks good and he stays clean. But that's not all. What shocked people the most was Joe's revelation that 3 or 4 nights a week he finds shelter and a warm bed by picking up women and spending the night with them. I'm serious. Take a look.
Since there's 8 million people in this city, if you're not getting you're it's not like I forgot how to get lost. I like your shorts.
Thank you.
Hold on. Hey.
I'm going to meet someone really
Hold on. What's your name?
Erica.
You're adorable. Like, I'm definitely like trying to chill with you later.
There's got to be the one pickup line that works better than everything else you say.
It's not really pickup lines. It's more like I see opportunities and I capitalize on them. I'm actually a little bit Czechoslovakian. That's kind of Russian. Dude, I'll go up to any random girl here, tell them I love them and want to marry them just for general recreation purposes. I love you. You're killing it. Yes.
What usually like dictates how long like a girl will let you bunk up in her place?
It's pretty much all depends on how good I was sleeping at this broad's house, and last night we just ate a load of Clodopins and went drinking.
When you're not sleeping with a lady though, where do you sleep?
On the sidewalk, on cardboard all-star. I do homelessness differently, you know what I'm saying? I might sleep on cardboard like 2 or 3 nights a week, but I literally wake up every single day and do whatever I want.
How many outfits do you have? How many ensembles?
I have 4 pretty good outfits.
4 pretty good outfits? How many like bad outfits do you have?
I have no bad outfits. I don't even like to consider myself a bum.
What do you consider yourself?
A gypsy. I try and maintain as much humanity as I can in this situation, you know? Have a great night. God bless you. That was me donating money to somebody to go get a hot dog. If you're a type of person who inspires compassion, then people are gonna give you money. The reason why people give me the amount of money they do is because they realize that they're just that close to becoming homeless, you know what I'm saying? How can you be homeless and not do drugs and drink? Like, I feel like the misery would just overwhelm you. This abstract lifestyle is not for everybody. I'm the only one that can really pull this off.
Well, almost 5 million people have watched that video. Everyone has been buzzing about this cardboard Casanova, and no one could believe his story. Well, neither could we. We had to meet Homo. First, we had to track him down. Then Joe told us he didn't have an ID to get on a plane to come to the show. But he said he'd hop in a car with his buddy, and they drove almost 3,000 miles from New York City to Los Angeles to come here to meet me. Now, within hours of arriving in L.A., Joe was doing what he says he does best, drinking and wooing the ladies. So we captured this smooth operator in action ourselves. Take a look.
Yeah, so I'm finally in Los Angeles. It's crazy. I've never been here before. I've never seen the Pacific Ocean or experienced anything like this.
How long was the drive?
It took us about 3 days.
You can drop me off in the middle of the desert with nothing, no money, no clothes except for the shirt on my back and pants, and I will survive. Will you please marry me?
I'm sorry.
You're a nice person to talk to.
I'm a role model.
So what do you do for work?
Probably 90% of the girls I hook up with know I'm homeless.
Where is your base? Like what?
I don't have one.
What's your PO box or your like address?
I don't have it. Sorry, is that a deal breaker? It's in our genetic makeup to want to like hook up. You just like tell them whatever they want to hear, dude. Like, it's easy. You just bat your eyelash again. Because you're adorable.
Oh, that's so nice. What do you use secret little Old Spice?
It is absolutely nothing. That's just...
It's like an au naturel.
I probably only sleep with like 70 or 80 girls every year. There's 52 weeks in the year. Think about it. Anybody can do it. Like, anybody.
It's very nice to meet you.
You're such a sweetheart. If you gave me another hour, I'd have her in the bedroom.
So what do you're watching yourself on video there. What do you think?
I think it's hysterical.
Yeah?
That movie's amazing. Like, the way they shot everything, like, it's awesome.
Yeah? So, did I hear you say that you pick up and sleep with 70 to 80 women a year?
Yeah, that's not really that much, dude. Think about it. There's 52 weeks in a year, so that's barely over one per week. Like
yeah, I mean, hell, it's
anybody
almost,
could do it. Like,
that's
you know
almost
what I'm saying?
nothing.
Like,
I mean,
it really isn't that impressive. Like,
yeah.
I can't believe I'm on TV for it, you know?
You say the rest of the time you sleep on a cardboard box on the street.
Yeah.
But you say you only sleep on clean cardboard. You won't.
Oh, I don't. That there's actually no cardboard in that picture right there.
I see that.
You know what's funny about that photo right there?
Nothing.
Nothing
But
is
go
funny.
ahead.
Absolutely, nothing is funny about that. I was actually overdosed the day before. Got released from Beth Israel while I was still blacked out. And Elite Daily, I never even gave them permission to shoot that shot, but they were walking by and saw me because it was like in their general vicinity and photographed that.
Yeah. You say girls will actually walk up and see you on the street and just assume you passed out, not that you were living there.
Yeah. Like if I'm wearing like a polo shirt or like a Ralph Lauren shirt or something like that, you know, and they're just like, you drank too much, like you passed out, like what are you doing? I'm like, I live here. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, like I live on the cardboard, like, and they don't believe it most of the time.
Okay, so you try to look presentable, and so you say like 4 good outfits. This is your bag of clothes.
Set outfits.
So you have pretty good looking stuff, you say.
Yeah, I like to think so.
Yeah. Okay. And you keep this with you all the time.
Generally, yeah.
And as far as toiletries and that sort of thing, where do you get that stuff?
Generally the store, you know, but if I'm in a situation where like if I don't have anything, like I'll make it happen and I'll just go, I like walk into CVS or like Walgreens or something and literally like use whatever I need and then just dip out. Like,
so you don't steal it from the store and leave, you just use it there.
I just use it, then I walk out. Like if they say something, they say something. Like what are they gonna do? Like,
just open it up and
absolutely
fix, yeah.
There's no shame in my game, Dr. Phil.
No, does anybody say anything to you?
Occasionally. There was one time, there was this Dwayne Reed on like 3rd Ave in New York City, and I walk in and I like spray the like Axe on me or whatever. This is actually pretty funny. So, and then I'm walking out and the manager comes and chases me down. He's like, what'd you just do? I'm like, I walked in and I sprayed down some like Axe. He's like, did you take anything? I'm like, dude, like you can't even approach me. I'm outside the store, so it's illegal for you to even say anything. So he's like, can I look in your bag? I'm like, absolutely not, bro. See you later.
How much money do you make panhandling?
It's inconsistent, but I don't know. The most I ever made was like close to 300 in a day, and the worst I ever, like I always make at least like $100 usually.
Yeah, you said your average is like $150?
Yeah, and within a couple hours.
Within a couple of hours?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, dude, like if you're gonna be homeless, right, you know, and you're gonna live outside, like the way I look at it, right, I don't really feel bad because if I'm sleeping on the sidewalk, why should I feel bad about holding a sign? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I looked to see what the median income was for people in America. In 2013,
It's
the
about
median
$36,000.
individual income was $41,319. Yeah. And you, on the other hand, from panhandling, you're making $150 a day is $54,750 a year tax-free. Wow. So you're in the top half of the United States.
I'm sure that's not the case because I wouldn't be living on the sidewalk if I was making that much money.
Well, you said 150 a day.
Also, New York is much more expensive to live in than any other place in the country.
Their sidewalks are more expensive than...
Their sidewalks are so much more
Sidewalks in
expensive.
Omaha?
They're so much more expensive. Yes, if I were to go to Denver, somewhere like there,
So,
yeah.
but for somebody to make $54,750, they would have to make $75,000 a year before taxes, probably. So you actually have some money going through your hands.
Yeah, but I'm a train wreck, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find out where all that money is going. Next, how did a good-looking, charming, promising student from a good family end up sleeping on the streets of Manhattan? What went wrong? We're going to find out when we come back.
I do not consider sleeping on the sidewalk acceptable. People think I'm being Given the choice between sleeping on a cardboard box or sleeping in a bed, I'm pretty sure any human being in the world would much rather sleep in a bed. My responsibility is to try and not look homeless. I go to CVS and I take their hair gel. Now they have the mirrors near the makeup section. I fix my hair. I grab a Red Bull and I walk out.
Well, today we're talking to, frankly, an internet sensation. He's known on the internet as Homeless Joe. That was Joe using a drugstore like he's right at home in his own bathroom. Joe says there's no shame in his game. Hell, he just does what it takes to get by. He says that he survives living on the mean streets of Manhattan by panhandling during the day and then picking up women at night using his good looks and his charm. He says that by showering at women's homes and freshening up at the drugstore, he manages to not look the part. One of your big tools is you don't look homeless, right?
I mean, there's some mornings I guarantee I look homeless, you know? But most of the time, no, I
Yeah, well,
never
some
look
mornings I
homeless.
wake up and look homeless, but...
I highly doubt that.
No, you'd be surprised how worthless I can get.
That's true.
Give a few days off, I'd be right there with you. So now, all right, you went to school, right?
Yeah.
And in fact, you took advanced placement courses. You took AP courses.
Absolutely.
In like math and chemistry, but you didn't graduate.
No, did not graduate.
Why?
Because I got kicked out a month before graduation because of a marijuana-related incident.
Okay, but you got your GED,
Yeah.
and then you went to college,
I tried going to college for a little bit.
and then what messed that up?
Well, I was in the middle of a huge ecstasy run at the time, so I stayed up for 3 weeks when that was going on. And I was still getting really, really good grades, but I was a train wreck, absolute catastrophe.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've been in jail. 'Cause
Unfortunately.
You were on the street sleeping, right?
Yeah, I want to say September 2013, I got woken up by these cops. I took a bunch of Xanax and I blacked out and I passed out underneath the bench. I was so messed up, I wasn't even on top of the bench. I was underneath the bench, you know?
So the cop woke you up, so you
come and wake
decided
me
to
up
punch him in the face?
Well, no, I didn't know that they were cops. I thought that they were just trying to steal my stuff, and I just...
You said they wanted your sack of
so I
4
thought
good
that-
outfits.
Well, no, actually at this point I had probably had about 7 good outfits, Dr.
Oh.
Phil. Yeah, it deteriorated from that over the course of about a year and a half, you know?
So you came out swinging.
Well, yeah, but then once I figured out that they were cops, I stopped swinging. And they kept swinging, you see?
Yeah, but you hit a cop, you're going in.
Oh, yeah, I went in.
So you went in for
I
like
went
6
in.
months.
Yeah.
Then you had another incident with the cops.
Before? I've had a lot of incidents with cops. Unfortunately.
How many times have you been to jail for hitting a cop? Because I got the second time you were arrested for swinging at a cop.
Twice.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of those on record, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's not something I'm proud of, you know.
Why did your parents kick you out?
Which time?
The last time.
The last time, my mom found a bunch of drugs, and I think, I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Yeah. How long you been living on the street?
Well, the first time I ever became legitimately homeless, living on the street, was August of 2012. 13, I think it was. Yeah, that was the first time I was ever, like, I've been kicked out of my house multiple times before that happened, but the first time I ever actually lived on the street was August of 2013. And I pretty much did the exact same thing in Boston until I got locked up in December that I was doing in New York, you know, just like surviving.
You seem to be happy to be homeless.
Sometimes, yeah. Just not in the morning,
Yeah, why not in the morning?
because I feel like garbage. Absolute garbage.
Yeah. So you kind of hang around outside of bars at night, right?
No, I go in bars too.
Oh, you go in?
Yeah.
And you actually buy a few drinks?
I always have money.
Yeah, we know. Yeah. So the girls that you'll actually go in, buy a few drinks, chat some girls up, and I've been married for 38 years, okay? I haven't been on a date with anybody other than my wife in 38 years, and we were together years before that, so
Such
I'm kind of
a long time.
old at this. What?
Such a long time.
It is a long time. Well, it doesn't feel like a long time to me.
Good answer.
Well, I'm
But
happy
what do
for
you
that.
say to him? What do you say to him to make the transition from the bar to the house?
Dude, I just go wherever God takes me, you know? Like, I don't really, like, say anything particular. Like, I just
Pretty
try
sure
to-
God's not part of this transaction right here. But anyway, go ahead.
No, like, I don't really, like, put that much effort towards it, you know?
They just kind of apparently crawl in your lap.
Well, no, dude, it's like riding a bike. Like, it's not difficult once you know how to do it.
Yeah. So when you do this, do you tell them you're homeless?
Predominantly, yeah.
So you'll say, yeah, I'm.
Yeah, it's generally not an issue.
Do they ask for where you live?
Yeah, like, I tell them straight up, like, I live outside. Like, they're like, how the heck do you live outside? I'm like,
So you're like, can I go home with you? Because like right now I'm between boxes.
that's exactly what I say. Exactly what
And so
I say.
off you go.
Specifically.
And
No, that's not what I say.
you stay maybe 2-3 days sometimes.
Yeah, if I'm lucky. You know.
But then you say you're the one that wants to leave.
Yeah, I can't really put up with one place for too long. Like I said in the interview, I'm a gypsy.
Yeah.
I like traveling.
All right. Well, Joe says that he drinks morning, noon, and night, sometimes up to
All day.
30 vodka drinks a day. Now, I suspect that he's not exactly straight right now. We're going to find out just how inebriated he is when we come back.
I wake up vibrating every morning. It's a combination of the drugs, the alcohol, withdrawal symptoms. I have to get up as soon as I wake up, or like, it doesn't work. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and suffer through withdrawals all day. Dude, once I get drunk, all bets are off. Like, anything can happen once that happens.
Joe says he's kind of like a gypsy. I'm not sure gypsies would rush to claim him, but he says he loves the freedom of life on the street, but like many homeless people, he battles with addiction. Joe says Angels invented the combination of vodka mixed with Gatorade.
They did.
And after a few drinks being on the street, it's fun. Joe says if he stopped drinking, he could afford a home with the money he earns panhandling. But if you're picking up women, you go to nice homes, right? Some of these women live in nice apartments and nice homes, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you say it's easy. It's like riding a bike.
It's not difficult at all.
Yeah. Could you pick up somebody in this audience if you ran into them? Do you believe you could pick up somebody in this audience?
If they didn't know who I was, 100% fact.
Yeah.
In all honesty, really wouldn't be an issue.
You just start smoothing them.
Just tell people what they want to hear, Dr. Phil.
Really? I got to see this. I want to pick somebody in the
No,
audience.
I'm not
here.
doing this.
I got to see your
not
moves.
doing
You're afraid to do it?
I'm not doing it.
Why?
Because I don't want to look like an ass national
Oh,
TV.
too late for that. No, I'm just kidding. You would just smooth into him, though. You would just start talking to him. You would just.
Yeah. For the most part, you know, like if I see something that, like, I don't know, like catches my eye, like, but dude, like I'm not in a situation where I have to like find shelter tonight, so
Yeah.
I don't really care as
You
much.
got to be motivated.
Well, motivation definitely helps, but
Yeah.
You
Like
know.
when you came out here, we put you in a hotel, right?
you did.
And how was that, sleeping in like a bed, not having to do anything?
It was amazing.
Yeah,
it was great. It was very refreshing.
What kind of shape's the minibar in?
I destroyed the minibar.
It's gone.
It's gone, both of them.
Yeah. We didn't think to bring. We didn't think to get that out of your room. You buy cheap vodka?
Well, given the choice between getting like goose or like some garbage, you know, I'd obviously rather get some goose, but if I don't really have any other options, I'll take some abysmal vodka, you know.
Because you're going to pour it into Gatorade. So.
Yeah, once you mix vodka with Gatorade, like it tastes like Gatorade.
Are you drunk now?
I'm slightly intoxicated. I just drank enough so that my hand doesn't vibrate. It's still kind of shaking a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to see how drunk you are right now.
I'm not that drunk right now.
I think you're pretty lucid right now.
I'm definitely pretty lucid.
Okay, I need you to go
I
on this
understand
until it
everything that's
beeps
going on.
twice. I'm sure you've done this before.
Oh, I've done this many times before. I got this.
Okay, all right, go. Keep going. Okay. All right. Now it'll count in and we'll see. What do you guess? If 0.08 is...
0.12.
Oh, so you think you're over the legal limit.
I think I'm 0.12.
Wow, you're 0.05.
So I'm not even drunk.
You're falling...
What? Wait, this is a huge issue right now. Like,
You're falling behind.
no, I just drank like 10 beers like before I came on here. So
You drank 10 beers before you came on here?
well, I drank 6 before I even left the hotel room, and then I drank a 4 Loko, which is the equivalent to 5 beers, so 11. Figure my body processes one an hour, but I go faster, so yeah, like 10.
How long does it take you to drink a six-pack?
Half an hour, 45 minutes.
Well, so you'll put it right down.
Oh, absolutely, crush
Okay.
it.
You said you start drinking to not think about things. Like what?
Yeah, I don't like thinking about
Like what?
I don't know, everything, life in general.
Yeah. You've been to rehab 4 times.
Yeah, direct result of shenanigans.
Yeah. And that's like a vacation for you,
I
right?
love it. I love it.
Why do you love it?
Because they give you free drugs.
They
No,
give
I'm
you-
just kidding. No, like getting clean's actually pretty good, like the first like month or two, but then like stuff doesn't start coming fast enough, you know? You don't really get the job, you don't really get the steady income coming immediately after you get clean, and it's becomes a deplorable circumstance shortly after you actually get clean. You know, like it's so much easier to just run around, you know, and like get money and get high, like that's it.
Joe asked me if I would be willing to help him get to the Dr. Phil show. There's not even one moment that he didn't cry about needing alcohol.
I've literally been hammered drunk for 3,000 miles.
We have viewers that are watching on Twitter, and I don't know about the audience here, but like Fifi Flea says, Dr. Phil, when do we get to the part when you chop this jerk down to size? So many women he's used would love to see it. Sandra D. Hicks says, I hope every woman in New York City sees this and you never sleep on a comfy bed and use another woman again. And Tessa Curley says, you're young now, dude. 10 years in this lifestyle, no woman will acknowledge your presence. Wow. What are you going to do when you start getting older? Good point.
Hopefully, Dr. Phil, I'm not going to be in the situation when I'm older and won't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Joe's oldest friend, Pedro, offered to drive Joe all the way to Los Angeles and put up with Joe in a car for 44 hours straight because he says Joe's a good guy who needs help. Take a look.
Joe definitely has a drinking problem. Being around Joe is not easy.
Like, I do whatever I want. Like, honestly, do not give a about anything.
If he's not drunk, he's not happy. So I let Joe move in with me, my grandmother. So one night, Joe got home from work My grandma found a mountain of cocaine. I didn't let him live in my house after that. Joe asked me if I would be willing to help him get to the Dr. Phil show. I volunteered to drive him across country, and there's not even one moment that he didn't cry about needing alcohol.
I just want to say, I've literally been hammered drunk for 3,000 miles.
I really hope that Dr. Phil can help my friend, because he's not going to get a chance like this again, that's for sure.
You've got a good friend in Pedro. This is Pedro right here.
He's an excellent friend.
And you actually let him come spend Christmas with you because you didn't want him to be alone on Christmas, right?
No, I was in jail on Christmas, Thanksgiving, I went there.
Was it Thanksgiving?
Yeah, and the year before that was Christmas.
Uh-huh. And you hid all the alcohol.
He found it. In the middle of the night, everybody went to bed, and he woke up in the middle of the night, and there was a brand new bottle of Southern Comfort, and in the morning, that was gone.
Yeah.
Said he was thirsty.
Well, let me tell you what I'm processing while we're sitting here talking, okay? And I don't mean to raid on your freedoms, just another word for nothing left to lose parade, but it looks to me like you have a really difficult and depressing existence.
Only in the morning.
Yeah, no, because there's something you don't know. I've been homeless. I was just like 15, and it was in Kansas City, not New York City. But you can tell all of these people that it's a fun, cavalier lifestyle.
Oh, it sucks in the morning.
But I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it's just sucks in the morning. I think it sucks in the afternoon, the evening, and at night, and it's dangerous. And the only reason you don't know that is because you're hammered most of the time, right?
Predominantly.
You've said you've done, ecstasy, marijuana, abuse alcohol, cocaine. I mean, you'll do about anything, right?
Yeah, as long as it's good quality.
What are you hiding from? What are you running from?
Reality.
You're 0.05 now, and you've got tremors. If you didn't drink anything for the next 24 hours, you would go into withdrawal. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I was in withdrawal when I woke up this morning.
Yeah. Which means you've gotten to a level where alcohol alone, who knows what other drugs you're mixing it with, whatever you have the opportunity to do at a given time, that means this is toxic enough that you go into serious bad withdrawal if you don't have it, which is not the beginning, but pretty well on the decline. You're going to age super fast. You're going to get in situations where you don't have it. You can go into delirium tremens. You can have all kinds of problems with this. At some point, this is going to come to a bad end. You're going to be dead soon if you don't do something about it. And you say you're running from reality. I mean, you feel like you've disappointed your family, right?
Definitely.
You don't think they would even entertain re-engaging with you?
0% chance that would ever happen.
They're just done.
Completely.
And you got one friend here that drove you 6,000-mile round trip. Why do you suppose he did that?
Because he knows I'm actually very intelligent and can do whatever I want as long as I got clean.
But you've been clean 4 times and you blew it.
Yeah. Are you asking me a question?
Do you want me to ask you a question?
You can ask me as many questions as you want. Just don't stare at me anymore.
What do you hate most about yourself?
What do I hate most about myself? Yeah. I don't really hate anything about myself for the most part. Not even a little bit.
How about your choices?
Oh, I despise my decision making.
Well, there's that. Bad decision making, which leads out to the whole rest of your life, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Because I know people don't talk to you about that because you're like an internet sensation and all of this is kind of everybody going, wow, this guy's charming, he's handsome, he's this, he's that. But I don't see that because I've got a son your age, and if my son was in your circumstance at this age, I would consider it the greatest crisis of my life if my son was where you are right now.
Are you asking me a question? Or?
No.
Okay.
Do you want me to ask you a question?
You can ask me as many questions as you want. Just don't stare at me anymore. I'm just kidding.
Does it make you uncomfortable?
A little bit.
Yeah. You're living your life in an altered state of consciousness, which means it's just blowing by you. And, you know, I'm one of those people that believes to whom much is given, much is expected. And you've been telling me that you're smart and you're educated and you have skills and all of that. And you're doing absolutely nothing with it. You're contributing absolutely nothing to society. And I don't think we ought to have to drag you. I think you ought to decide that you've been given some great gifts, some great skills, and you need to figure out what the hell you're hiding from so badly that you stay drunk, intoxicated, or high on drugs. You say, in fact, you said you're drunk 100% of the time.
Yeah, unless I'm sleeping.
Well, you can be sleeping and drunk.
Yeah, but it's not as enjoyable as being awake and drunk.
Yeah. But you wake up shaking, right?
Yeah.
You got to have something as soon as
I
you wake
vibrate
up.
in the morning. I'm still kind of shaking right now.
Yeah. What's that tell you? Does that tell you that that's not good?
That tells me my body hates me at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any motivation or desire to get better?
Oh, absolutely. Because my life is a catastrophe, dude.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm willing to help you, actually, but it comes with a whole different set of expectations. I know you've been to rehab before, and they treated you for your addiction, but there's more going on than that with you. You clearly are an alcoholic and an addict. You really have some mental and emotional issues as well. And unless and until those are resolved, you're always going to self-medicate. You're going to get out, and whatever it is that you're hiding from, whatever it is that you're running from, you're going to start medicating again, and to dull that pain.
Definitely know what you're saying is true. I've already overdosed either 17 or 18 times, I think. So
Yeah.
I've literally flatlined 17 or 18 times.
Yeah. And you have to be very lonely. I mean, you got a brother in L.A., right?
Yeah, I don't even talk to him.
Yeah. He refused to see you. He didn't want to see you.
Correct.
It was nothing to do with you. Because you victimize everybody you're around, right?
I don't like to think that victimized would be the word.
I did this story for one reason, that I would hope if my son was ever in the circumstance you're in, that somebody in this world would step up and reach out a hand to him. If I offer to bring you resources to give you one, no kidding, serious chance to get your ducks in a row and get some traction, start moving forward in your life, would you do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And understand what I'm saying is not just getting you clean, but putting you in one of the top dual diagnosis treatment centers in the country that deal with alcohol and addiction, but also deal with the emotional issues that you're self-medicating yourself to avoid. It's a dual diagnosis. They deal with the addiction, but they deal with the mental and emotional issues at the same time. And that means it's heavy lifting, it's hard work. But you might, just might, have an opportunity to meet yourself for the first time in a long, long time if you do that. This is Ben Levinson right here. Ben, say hello.
Hey, Joe.
He's the founder and chairman of the Origins Recovery Centers, and it's a nationally accredited leader in dual diagnosis treatment. And they're located on South Padre Island in Texas. And they do all kinds of comprehensive programs, but they integrate addiction and trauma and other complex psychological issues. I mean, it just all kind of comes together. And unless you do that, you're never going to get, because you can dry out, but you'll never stay sober if you don't deal with the other. Ben, agreed?
Yeah, I mean, we have a saying in Texas that says, you know, you're looking good, but you're dying on the inside. And I think in your case, that's true. And Dr. Phil said so. I don't know that you have 10 years. In fact, I think if your story gets much worse, somebody else is going to be telling it for you. And it's time to step in and get honest and get clear, take the time that you need, and do the hard work that Dr. Phil's talking about.
You know, they brought me this story to do, and I said, you know, not really interested. They said, well, will you read it? So I read everything, and I did this story for one reason, that I would hope if my son was ever in the circumstance you're in, that somebody in this world would step up and reach out a hand to him. And in that I would hope that for my own sons, I'm doing that for you now. Because I think if you'll get yourself clean, detoxed, and actually figure out what's going on, I think the world can look a whole lot different to you than it has ever looked when you've come out of rehabilitation before. Mm-hmm. And I think you could get excited about your life and really get a handle on things. I believe you have the ability to do that. I do. I think you're smart enough to do it. And so I'm making you that offer right here, right now. And I don't know how long you'll be involved in this. It could be a month, 3 months, a year, 2 years. I don't know. Because the idea is to work until you truly have a chance to turn your life around. You willing to take that plunge?
Yeah, I'm willing to take that plunge.
Deal? Seriously, let's do it. Okay? All right. Okay. Ben, you got your work cut out for you here.
We do indeed.
All right. We'll be right back. I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thank you to Origins Recovery. Okay, now they were a typical all-American family. A mom and dad who loved one another, and 4 children who were thick as thieves. Now, life was good, or was it? Now, no one in this family can seem to agree. The divide started the day Mom decided to divorce Dad. Take a look.
My parents divorced 12 years ago. My mom abandoned me and my siblings. My dad was a great dad growing up, and I didn't think my parents would get divorced. I didn't think their marriage was really in trouble.
When my husband drank, he was very belligerent, very violent. One night he was urinating in the hallway because he was so drunk he thought he was in the bathroom. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. So I went to the courthouse and I filed the restraining order to safely get him out of the house.
An emergency order of protection is for when your life is in danger, and that wasn't the case. My dad was very shocked and crying when he came and told me about it. I was crying, I was upset. Our whole life just got turned upside down for no reason. It was a huge shock to all of us.
The children should not have been surprised after everything they had seen and witnessed at the house. Carlin encouraged me to leave him. Carlin had even asked me, why do you stay married to him? So I don't know why she, of all of the children, would have turned her back on me.
My brothers and I testified in the hearing on my dad's behalf because we did not see or witness any signs of physical abuse in our home. My sister Alyssa took my mother's side during the hearing. I had never seen my mother this way before. I never had seen her so hateful in my life. Shortly after I was at work, my mom called me and told me I needed to come get all my stuff that was sitting outside. When I pulled up to my mom's house, everything that I had there was in the driveway. This is the house that I grew up in.
when she threw me out of the house. My mom threw all my stuff out. It was all sitting right up there by the garage, by the bushes.
When my children found out that I had filed a restraining order, they came to the house while I was at work. And TV, I was very angry. I could not believe they felt they had to sneak in behind my back and steal it. I was so upset that I went ahead then and changed the locks on the door and changed the code to open the garage door. I was afraid they'd come steal me blind while I was at work.
I don't know how a mom can throw her kids out of the house.
I was devastated when the kids left and sided with him. They never gave me a chance to explain my side. They did not phone me. They did not call to ask any questions. It was just almost like they dropped off the face of the earth.
She hates us because we have a relationship with our father, and I do not understand how a mom can do that to her kids.
Now, Carlin says she lives 5 miles from her mother, but they have barely spoken or seen one another in 12 years. Now, Jody's youngest daughter, Alyssa, tells a completely different story of who caused this family's drama.
I'd blame Carlin for destroying my family. She tore it all apart, ripped it up into pieces. My father was the start of it, but I think she's the one that kept it going. Carlin is probably the most manipulative person I know. Pretty evil. She is the one that always held the connection with all of us siblings. So however she reacted, she wanted the boys to react the same way. I don't know why they did it this way. I think it was wrong. I was civil with them through the divorce, with all of them, including my father. And every time I would say, why don't you talk to Mom? They flat out would just drop it. I have said I am an only child because I haven't talked to them in over 10 years. It makes me upset that they've done this to my mother. She doesn't deserve it. She was the one that was always there. She was a great mom, and all of a sudden they just turned on her. With Carlin being kind of the ringleader, I could see my brothers wanting to maybe reach out. If Carlin knew, they would get an earful. Why stick your whole body in a piranha tank? If you don't do something that she approves of, be ready to feel her wrath.
Okay, so you two haven't seen each other in quite some time.
Correct.
How long?
Probably about 12 and a half years.
Really? And you live 5 miles away?
Mm-hmm.
Look, why are we here today? What do you want from me?
I am hoping to get some answers of why I feel they abandoned me. I did not kick you out. I did not move. I did not change my phone number. They made it very clear to Alyssa and other family members, everyone in my whole entire family, they do not have any communication with.
Okay, so you want to prove up your victim
No,
role?
no, no, no. No, I want to know why.
You want to prove up your victim role. You said, I want to know why they abandoned me. I didn't abandon them. They abandoned me, and I want to prove that up.
I did not kick them out of the house. They chose to leave.
You can't keep changing the subject.
Okay.
I ask you a question, and you change the subject and give a non-responsive, not even answer, just a completely different comment. Now, you're here for a reason. You want something from me. I'm not going to come in here and just let people kind of crosstalk. I want to know why you're really here.
I would like to resolve the issue with my children. I've missed them.
Now, do you want to resolve or do you want to be right?
No, I want to resolve it.
And how about you?
I think it would be nice to bury the hatchet, I guess. You know, I mean, I was civil with all of them for the first year.
I didn't ask you to defend yourself. I asked you what you wanted. Listen, because I've read everything you guys have said, and I have never seen such a bunch of sanctimonious, self-righteous right fighters in my life. And I didn't ask you to defend yourself. I said, how about you? Do you want to resolve it?
I do.
You said 2 words about resolving it and said, now, as for me, really?
I do want to resolve it. I do.
Why?
I feel that I've missed out on things in their life. I feel that they've missed out on our life. I mean, you know, we have so many family events and activities, and they're not part of them.
Does it really matter who's right?
No. Mm-mm.
Why have you been fighting for
necessarily.
12 years to be right? I mean, think about that. What do you want? Why are you here?
I want to know how a mom can abandon 3 out of her 4 children. How you can do that to your kids, how you can drive by your daughter's house. I don't even know if it's fixable.
How sounds like an indictment. Because you're saying, how could she do that? How bad a mother could you be? You don't believe you did anything to justify being cut off by your mother, being an outcast, do you?
I don't think so.
Okay, then why did you say that? You're not really asking for an answer to that. What you're saying is indict her. She's a bad mother. She backed out. She turned her back, dumped us kids, and I want that straightened up.
That's true. When I called her a year ago, she said, I said, Mom, she said, who is this? I said, your daughter, Carlin. She calls me back, I asked her for some photos. She called me back a couple of days later, said, Carlin, this is Jody. First of all, how did you get my number? After your daughter
You're telling me this because why?
That's not a normal response for a mom.
Okay, I didn't ask you if it was normal or not. I asked you why you're telling me this. What is your desired result?
My desired result is to just, I guess, just get an understanding of what did we do to
Why are you
deserve this?
telling me this?
Because I always want your opinion. Whenever something happens, I always want to know, what would Dr. Phil have to say about this? Like, this isn't normal for a mom to treat her kids this way.
Okay, so you already know that it's not normal, so you don't need me to tell you that. You just want me to join you.
I want to know if there's a mental problem or something going on. Okay.
That's not the case.
I don't have a mental problem.
Well, if she is genetic.
Possibly.
So you could all be nutso.
Well, then take the whole family.
Well, we'll take you all out back. All right. Look, I'm here for a reason.
And I want to know if it's fixable.
Yes.
Okay.
It's fixable if you're fixable. If you're fixable, if you're fixable, if you decide that you're tired of being right and you want to be happy. All right, let's take a break. Mom thinks the real problem is that Carlin is just jealous of Alyssa, who she calls her shining star. We'll be right back.
Alyssa is my shining star. It makes me angry that they've abandoned Alyssa. She really did nothing to deserve any of this. Carlin and Alyssa were never real close when they were growing up. I don't think Carlin really liked her. She was often mean and picked on her. Carlin would purposely trip her or make her fall down. I assume now that it's because Carlin was jealous of her. Alyssa is my shining star. She's always happy, she's always pleasant, she's accomplished lots in her life. It makes me angry that they've abandoned Alyssa. If you really want to do this to me, so be it. But she really did nothing to deserve any of this.
Well, that was Jody, who says her eldest daughter, Carlin, is selfish, while her youngest daughter, Alyssa, is her shining star. So you're not proud of her?
Oh, I am proud of her.
How do you know? You haven't seen her in 12 and a half years.
I do not know her as an adult. I know a few things about her from others, but...
How do you feel about that? Did you ever
it breaks my heart.
Did you ever think at this time in your life that you would be talking about your daughter and say, I don't even know anything about her as an adult?
Absolutely not.
We ask you all a lot of questions,
Absolutely.
and you've been very forthcoming. And I thought you were very honest and unfiltered, as were you. And
Thank you.
As were you, Terry. All of y'all were very forthcoming. So I got to pull an analysis of what descriptors you used for the two. Jody says her feud with Carlin started after the divorce, but it's hard to believe when you hear the way she talks about the differences between the two girls. When she's talking about Alyssa, she says, my shining star. Always happy, pleasant, sees the brighter side of things, has such a big, bright, beautiful smile. You do have a beautiful smile.
Thank you.
Such a blessing to me and helped through the dark days. Always makes me smile and warms my heart. Always been very close, but divorce brought me even closer. Talk to her 3 or 4 times a day. When she visits, I just don't even want to let her leave.
That's true.
Yeah.
But she has 4 kids.
It's everybody's
I know that.
daughter you would want.
I know that.
Now, Carlin, you had a different set of adjectives for her. Very selfish and self-centered, always acted like an only child in a 4-child family, a princess, would never do anything to break a nail or a sweat, the boss of everyone.
She was. When they
Not
were little
true.
children, they'd go out to play in the
What
yard.
are you, her mini-me? Every time she says something,
I'm just... No.
You said this all started with a divorce. I mean, you're describing her as a child, as being selfish, self-centered, a princess, boss of everyone.
When they'd go out to play when they were little, she'd line them up in the yard and a couple of the cousins, and she would say, okay, today we're playing Care Bears, and you be Funshine Bear, and you be this bear, and you be this bear. She even told them what bear they had to be, and they all said, okay.
We were kids
I understand that, but you were always bossy.
I know, right? No. I'm such a horrible person.
How dare you? I wanted to be Fun Bear.
Sorry.
It's just showing a personality
She was always bossy.
trait.
She was always in control and had to be the boss of everything.
So?
She just was. No, she just was.
So, what's your point?
They all followed her around and played whatever she wanted to play.
Okay, is
so
that-
she's always been bossy.
Or a leader?
That's
A leader.
yeah, maybe so. I don't know her as an adult. It's very sad. It's very sad.
Wow. You got a divorce.
I did. Thank God.
And I don't know. I didn't know your husband, and I know that you have described him in some very unflattering ways. But I don't know him, but I do know you got a divorce. Divorce is very difficult on children.
Yes, it is.
You were supportive of her decision during the divorce, correct? Mm-hmm. You've been supportive over the whole way. You and your brothers were shocked by it, you say. The
We were
divorce.
shocked.
You were brokenhearted by it and shocked by it.
We were shocked about how it started.
Right? And it bothered you, and there was a hearing for a protective order,
Yes.
and you sided with your father about the protective order because you felt like
We
it was...
testified that the emergency order protection was untrue. There was no need for a domestic violence, restraining order, any of that. That was a shock.
Why? Why was there no need
We
for
never
it?
saw Dad hit Mom, punch Mom, never saw her with bruises. They'd argue, yes, but never physical violence. We never saw any of that. We never grew up with that.
Okay.
You did.
We did not.
You did grow up with that.
Children don't really know everything there is to know about what happens between a husband and a wife. And so it's hard for them to make informed decisions. You don't know what she said to him or he said to her when you weren't around. You don't know what happened behind closed doors. You don't know everything that goes on in the interactions between a husband and wife. And oftentimes, that's by design. She
Exactly.
might protect you from some of that awareness. He might protect you from some of that awareness. So for you, it's judgment about that. You're uninformed, and it's unfair for you to do that, to sit in judgment about that, which it's also unfair. It's why I say adults should not drag children into adult issues.
Exactly.
You should not have children at the time getting up and testifying, taking positions, taking sides, weighing in on things of that nature. It's just not right to do. It's difficult enough for children to watch their family fragment without putting them into the battle zone and having them make decisions where they feel like if I side with one, I'm betraying the other. And it's interesting that the one that you seem to be happiest with was coincidentally the one that supported you.
Correct. You can divorce your spouse. You don't divorce your kids. And I felt like she divorced all
I
of
did not
us.
divorce you.
You
Carla,
had nothing
you
to
used
do
to
with this
ask me,
since.
why do you stay married to him?
Yes.
You'd ask me that.
You took your
But you don't understand, that doesn't matter. She's a child. At the time, she's a child.
And I have something else to say about protecting your children. If she's such a protector, when she first started dating Terry, we got into an argument, my mother and I. He stepped in, he threw me on the ground, grabbed my hair and grabbed my throat and threw me on the ground. She did nothing to protect me.
That's not true.
Is that because you went to punch him in the face
That's not
and he
true.
was protecting himself?
That is not true.
All right, let's take a break. Up next, Jody says Carlin is the cause of all the family drama and has brainwashed her sons against her. Well, we're going to talk to one of those sons. He has a view, and we'll hear what it is when we come back.
I believe there are blatant lies being told here. My daughter Carlin, I feel, is the ringleader of the group. She rules what should or shouldn't happen, and the boys just follow her and do whatever she says. I think she is the main reason that they do not contact me as well.
I was most upset about my mother making false allegations against my dad about physical abuse and emotional abuse. There was never any physical abuse at all. I went with my brother to the house to try to talk to my mother about the situation. She didn't want to speak to us and told us that we needed to get off the property, otherwise she was going to call the cops on us. My mother never tried to even explain anything at all. She had kicked us out of the house. I was completely lost, emotionally hurt. I had noticed a major change in my mom to where she did not seem like that person that helped raise us. She was different. She just seemed like an evil person. I've only spoken to my mother maybe twice in the last 12 years. My mother is a person that I no longer know.
Blake, what do you want to see happen here?
I just want answers as far as, why everything happened, why, she's never tried to get into any contact with us, because when my parents did get divorced, Alyssa, my brother, and Carlin, we all stayed close. So Alyssa, with her still staying close to our mother, she could have given our mother our phone numbers.
You told me you didn't want me to give Mom your numbers.
I never said that one bit.
Whenever I would come over to see you guys or visit, and I would say, maybe you guys should go talk to Mom or something, or give her your number, and you guys would always say, drop it. No, we're not doing that. Yes, it is true, and you know it's true.
No, it's
you
not.
guys always did that, and it was so unfair. I tried so hard to keep it together with everybody, but you guys always just bashed everybody, and you refused to even give any information at all. And you know you refused to give information.
Let me just ask everybody here, and listen, just make a decision about this. I've said that you are a bunch of right fighters. Now, I just timed your response to 37 seconds. Is that how you want to spend your time here today?
No.
Do you want to spend your time with me on national television justifying yourself about whether he told her or you told him not to give somebody their phone number? Is that really how you want to spend your time?
No, I'm just saying, in response to his question, he's saying that we
because you need to set the record straight. You got to be right about this, right?
I am right.
Okay, just so we got it. So you're right.
No, I'm just saying, he was saying that we never tried to contact him, when in reality,
we're now passing 2 minutes. Keep going.
They didn't want us.
We can be talking about fixing things, but we're going to get you right. We're passing 2.5 minutes. Keep going.
Okay, I'll stop.
No, seriously, you want to be right. This is what you came for.
I don't want to be right.
You want everybody to know you're right when you go home.
I guess I want to get clarification, because I think that there is a lot of he said, she said, which, and it was so long ago.
Clarification is that what you said is right.
I'm not saying I'm right.
Yes, you are. You spent the last 3 minutes now saying you're right.
I'm saying.
Don't you hate it when I'm right?
You are right.
No.
I
can play the tape back and we can listen to it again. And you can get stopwatch and time it.
I'm saying it's hard for me to listen to them say that she didn't contact them when
it's a mess.
It's hard. It is. It's hard for me to hear them say that when I feel like that they didn't want anything to do with her. They were mad from the beginning. They were mad. That was the thing.
But here's the problem. This is a big room, isn't it?
Yeah.
You could fill it 10 times over with what you don't know about what you're talking about.
That may be.
There's not maybe. You don't know a damn thing about the dynamics of the impact of divorce and fragmented families on children at the time it happens. You know your experience of it.
Right.
But you don't know his experience of it. You don't know her experience of it. Listen, guys, come on. There's nothing you're going to say that is going to convince me that you as a mother are justified in not being a leader in this family and bringing everybody back together. You got a divorce. That's your decision. And it's your right to make it, and you do not need your children's approval to do it. You had to make a decision, and I'm not judging that decision. Have I asked you one question about that?
No.
I'm not asking you, was he really this way? Did he really do that? Did he really do the other? I'm not asking you about that. I'm not judging you about that. You had to make a decision. And what I know is your history, according to all of your children, those that are in contact with you now and those who aren't, is that you spent your life as a loving, devoted, and caring mother.
Thank you, I did.
That you nurtured him, that you nurtured his brother, that you nurtured her, that you nurtured her. that you sacrificed, that you did so much for your family. Agreed?
Yeah, when we were
Agreed?
kids.
Agreed.
Nobody questions that. So I can only assume that if you made a decision to exit this marriage, that it was after careful consideration and deliberation. I question how it was played out with these children. I question the fact that when they had a reaction to it, where they didn't side with you, agree with you, support you in it, that created a fracture that has gone on for 12 years. I made a list, just a partial list. This isn't an exhaustive list. It's just a partial list of what you have missed in the time that has gone on. 12 years of birthdays, Thanksgiving, Christmases, Easters, and Mother's Days. You missed Jordan's high school graduation. You missed Blake's wedding. You missed Carlin's 2 college graduations, Jordan's homecoming from Iraq and is going to Iraq, the birth of your grandson Andrew's surgery, the birth of a granddaughter, Liliana, Carlin's buying a house, Carlin's engagement, all of these things that you could and should be a central figure in have been passed because of a blow-up 12 and a half years ago. Are you kidding me?
Oh, it breaks my heart.
Does it make sense to you?
Goodness, no, it's
Then
never made sense.
why don't you lead this family out of this mess?
I'd love to.
I'm not talking to you right now. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Why not lead this family out of this mess?
I would love to lead them out of
Why
this mess.
not forgive everybody for everything that's been done? Why not forgive yourself for what you've done? Why not ask forgiveness for things you may not have done? Why not just hit the reset button and start this thing over? You can't change what's happened. It seems to me that there comes a point where you just got to say, you know what? If, God forbid, you know what a fine young man you have here?
I do.
Contributing member of society. This is a really fine young man you have here. Can you imagine if, God forbid, something catastrophic happens to one of these children? And what you say is, well, they're now gone forever, and I spent the last 12 and a half years out of no contact because I didn't like what happened during a short period of time of emotional upheaval in our family that they didn't ask for. They hooked their wagons to our stars as mother and father. We ran it off in the ditch.
Right.
They got caught up in the crossfire. I didn't like the choices they made, whether it was abandoning me, turning their back, whatever you call it. And now they're gone.
There's not a day goes by I don't think about him or pray for him.
I've been wanting to know, how do you sleep at night? When you don't
Really, you really think this is the time to attack this woman?
No, I've asked
You really think, given the rhetoric that we're embracing here and where I'm taking this, you think that the next reasonable comment is, how do you sleep at night, woman?
That's what I had asked her before. She said that she's think about it, so I've wondered if she has.
Every day. Every day.
Coming up, Jody is closer to Blake's ex-wife than she is to her own son. We're going to find out why when we come back, and I'm going to tell you why I think this thing has veered off so badly. You're going to be surprised what I think the catalyst is.
Even after all the incidents that occurred, even though Alyssa lived with Jody, we all kept in touch with Alyssa. I was very close to Alyssa. We were the 2 youngest of the kids. Blake invited both Jody and Alyssa at his wedding. He wanted his family there. I talked to Alyssa several times, and she gave me every excuse in the book. I explained to her my ultimatum: if you don't go to your brother's wedding, as much as it hurt me to say, I won't speak to you after this. I just can't comprehend how you couldn't go to your own brother's wedding. Alyssa feels she's an only child because her brothers and sisters are trash. That hurt even more. That just cemented everything. For her to disown the rest of us, it's a slap in the face.
I never thought they were trash. I never said that. I don't believe that.
Yeah. So that's how he thinks.
And it's sad.
It's a shame.
They've seen posts on Facebook. That's why there's a. That's why we believe that. We don't believe it for no reason.
How's this going for you so far?
Interesting.
You know what's going to happen? Y'all are going to leave here in a few minutes, and you're going to all go backstage, and you may actually bond in standing against me, which would be okay. Because you can go backstage and say, well, that didn't go like I thought it was. I thought he was going to help us, and all he did was pick on us. Yeah, I'm trying to shake this up because you're on self-destruct here.
Absolutely.
You're absolutely on self-destruct. Do y'all believe in the power of language? You know what I mean when I say the power of language? Words are powerful, aren't they? And I listen to everything y'all say in your interviews. I read everything you say in your interviews. Everything. Every word. And a pattern jumped out at me. You guys have a way of using catastrophic language to describe non-catastrophic events. You're talking about it, you say, the straw that broke the camel's back. They went behind my back to steal me blind. I was devastated. You were devastated?
I was devastated.
You were just devastated. What is devastated? Is that where, like, your body parts fall off of you and you're laying in? Oh, come on. I'm serious. Devastated? They dropped off the face of the earth. My children dropped off the face of the earth. I hate it when that happens. The world's just turning around and people are just falling off of the earth. They're not my daughters anymore. Whose daughters are they? I didn't know there was a window to go to where you could say, I'm turning these in. I want a reissue here. I probably would have done it a few times if I thought you could. And you call myself an only child, turned her back on us. It's like putting your head in a piranha tank.
Yeah.
Seriously? Have you ever seen piranhas attack a bleeding animal?
They go after you.
It's like putting your head in a piranha tank. You mess with her, you're going to feel her wrath. You're going to get an earful. It's torn all apart. They have just ripped our family to pieces, just ripped it to pieces. I mean, you just pull around, there's hair, teeth, and eyes everywhere. Oh, my God. They've ripped our family to pieces. They've turned on her. You are the ringleader.
I guess.
You are the ringleader. And you're better. Mom is dead to me. Turned our world upside down. Threw my things out of the house. I saw them stacked in the driveway. They looked like they had been neatly stacked in the driveway. It didn't look like they had been thrown out of there in a frenzy. They threw my brothers out. You can throw him out? I
didn't throw anybody out.
Blake says, kicked us out. She is an evil person. No longer knows who she is, like they couldn't pick you out of a lineup. Brothers and sisters are trash, he says. Jordan says it's like a slap in the face. Just a slap in the face. Come on. Guys, do you wonder why you're all so upset? This is melodramatic, catastrophic language. Calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down. You're not devastated.
I was when it first happened.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You remained vertical. You remained coherent. You could talk. You are now.
I cried in bed for a couple days. But
you were sad.
I was sad.
That's what it was.
Well, a lot of this is going to come back and be laid at your feet.
Exactly.
Don't help me, Jesus.
I'm just saying, I agree with you.
The last conversation I had with Carlin, she had phoned me and wanted to know if she could get photos I'd had of all the children as they were growing up. That was really all I had to hang on to, and I was not willing to give them up. They were the only happy memories I had left. They'd taken everything else. Carlin said, well, I am your daughter. And I told her, you're not my daughter. My daughter would not treat me this way. That was the last I heard from Carlin.
Well, Jody says she doesn't consider Carlin her daughter anymore. Carlin says her mother is dead to her. Now, Jody...
Can I correct that?
Sure.
I didn't say that she is dead. I said that...
Oh, yes, you did.
No. I said that it's like she's dead, but it's worse because she's not dead, but she doesn't care to be there for her kids.
That's better?
It's worse.
I raised them alone for almost 10 years. I don't understand how this could have happened. I don't know how it went from not speaking.
Does it matter?
No, but I don't know how it got so
because
out
let me
of
tell
control.
you, if you start taking inventory, you're not going to like it because you're the boss. You're the mother. You're the parent. You're the one that sets the tone, guides through the maze. So a lot of this is going to come back and be laid at your feet.
Exactly.
Don't help me, Jesus.
I'm just saying, I agree with you. I agree with you. That's how it should be. So how do we fix this? Or is it fixable?
Maybe 12 and a half years is not long enough.
You feel my pain?
No, seriously. You have
I agree.
really bad timing.
Okay.
You know, my dad used to tell me, boy, don't you ever miss a good chance to shut up. Okay?
But you're saying how I feel. What you're saying is how I feel.
My dad used to say, boy, don't ever miss a good chance to shut up. Then what you should do is just bask in that quietly. Okay. What you want to do right now is stop talking.
Okay.
Okay? Because I'm trying to make some progress here and you're not helping.
Okay.
Every situation needs a hero.
I don't know how this went from 1 to a month to a year to 2, 3, 4. I don't know how it got so out of control. Please, can we start over?
Let me tell you something. You want to know something about her?
Absolutely.
She has a really good heart. And she really loves you a lot. She even loves you a lot. And she misses you a lot. And there are parts of life that you can only share in a meaningful way with your own people. And extended family is very, very important when children are growing up. You know, to learn that somebody loves them besides just their mom and dad. You know, there's like grandparents and aunts and uncles that they can feel safe with. It's how they begin to expand their radius in life. You know, that they can go further and do good things. And this guy that you guys are kind of demonizing down here, all he ever had the audacity to do was love your mother. He's not trying to be your dad. He just loves your mother. And you know, I've just always had a soft spot for people that loved my children, my family. Somebody's good to my family. I always felt a kind of a kindness to people that were good to my family. And he's been a soft place for your mother to fall. He didn't ask for any of this. I am just asking you guys to hit a reset button here. Every situation needs a hero that just says, look, I don't know how we got in this mess. I probably made some mistakes in the way that this unfolded. Perhaps I misread y'all's readiness for this divorce. Perhaps you got too involved in it. And maybe I got my feelings hurt and y'all got your feelings hurt. And I don't know where the first link in that chain was, but I know where the link is that I am now. And I'm extending an olive branch. I just want to love y'all and be loved by y'all. And you know how you do it? You start out by having some boundaries. You start out by saying, let's all get together in a public place where perhaps we'll have some inhibition to having a throwdown. And the boundary is we're not going to talk about anything that's happened. We're just going to be in the moment. We're just going to be in the moment and enjoy each other's company and see the kids and just have a non-judgmental good time. And then we're going to try to build on that. And I am more than happy to bring some professionals in here that can kind of unravel this ball of yarn behind closed doors for y'all, individually and collectively, to help bring some peace to this situation.
Thank you.
But it begins with somebody standing up and saying, this situation needs a hero, and since I'm the mom, it's going to be me. Because I say enough is enough. It's time that we start loving each other up again, and I'm going to be the first one to extend that offer. And that's my suggestion.
Thank you.
To you. Not because it's your fault, not because you have any bigger role into anybody else, although I believe you do because you're the parent, but just because somebody has to, and it might as well be you.
Absolutely. I love you, Carlin, and I love you, Blakely, both. I never have not loved you. Please, can we start over? I don't know how this went from one day to a month to a year to 2, 3, 4. I don't know how it got so out of control, but I would like it to end. Absolutely.
I want to end this, and
I do want to end this.
I want to end it.
will you accept that offer?
Yes, I'll accept it.
Will you accept that offer?
I'll accept the offer.
And just a step, I'm not saying just a step at a time. A step at a time. Fair enough?
Yeah, it's fair.
And I will get help to facilitate beyond that step.
Thank you.
Make sense? Mm-hmm. All right, coming up, tips for parents when talking to their kids about divorce. We'll be right back. You know, we've been talking about divorce, about talking to your children if a divorce is imminent. First, you need to be as honest with them as possible, but you have to do it in an age-appropriate way. And I know that term gets used a lot, but it just really means you don't take them into concepts they don't understand. And you need to acknowledge their feelings. And so what are they? Well, they're going to be scared. They're going to be confused. And children always have a way of figuring out how things are their fault in some way. They might hear mom and dad arguing about money, for example, and you could be arguing about mortgage payments or something really big, but they'll go sit on their bed and say, wow, if I didn't need $11.80 for school pictures, maybe mom and dad wouldn't be getting a divorce. They do have a way of figuring out how it's their fault, so you have to acknowledge those feelings. Be fair when talking about the other parent. It doesn't help you if they don't have a relationship with their other parent. That will come back to haunt you. Let them know they didn't cause this in any way whatsoever. Tell them their parents love them, even though their feelings for each other may have changed. But let them know that both parents love them very, very much. I'll have more information about all this on drphil.com. I appreciate you guys being here today and talking about this, and I am going to provide some help and guidance after this, but take it a step at a time. It doesn't matter. In the final analysis, it doesn't matter who said what to who back when. What matters is where you go from here. Not even God can change what has happened.
Right.
What you need to focus on is where you are now and what will happen. So we'll be working on this. Thanks for being here. So long.